Yes, people, welcome back to Uncomfortable Truths. This is episode 3, and today we are going to be reviewing the Premier League season so far. Today I got my people back again, man like Jinky and man like Deji. What you lot telling me, bro? What you lot telling me?
It's depressing right now. That's all I can say. It's not a good day. It's not a good day at all.
There's going to be a lot of uncomfortable truths.
We're going to get to all of that. So basically, people, in this show, we're going to review the Premier League season. We're going to review each team, and we're going to see how they're doing in the Premier League so far. We're going to break it all down. We're going to break the Premier League season so far. We're going to break it all down. But anyway, there's only one place to start, man. There's only one place to start. We're only... How it's only been 2 hours now? 2 hours, 3 hours now since 5-0.
The pain continues.
Game. Let's start there. People. Let's start with Man United, people. Jinky, you talk to me first. What's going on?
I've only just recovered. It's a very depressing time. Well, what can I say? I think that game summed up how the season's going. And you know what? I'm glad we kind of got peppered, because we've played a lot of games like that where there's been no structure, no plan. We've tried to wing it, and United have come off good in a lot of games. Look at Villarreal, prime example. You look at Wolves. We've been awful in those games, and we've come out well with wins. Now we deserved it. This is what happens when you don't have any team shape, any tactical approach. You don't have a centre midfield, and this isn't blaming the players, but it's blaming the structure of how you have those centre midfielders. When you have Bruno Fernandes, who's supposed to be a midfielder in an attacking sense, admittedly, playing as a striker, you get swarmed, you get overwhelmed. And when you play a world-class team like Liverpool, that's what happens, 5-0. Doesn't matter if it's home or away. So, as far as I'm concerned, Man United have been poor, very, very poor. This was a team, and this is where I have to take the sort of biased lenses off and that sort of thing. This was a team that in the media, fan base, were title contenders. Ronaldo was basically the one to seal the deal to get us to that promised land. We finished second last season. This season, poor. There's lots of reasons why that's happened. Lots of reasons, which we'll talk about. But it's been very, very, very underwhelming. And I think that's been quite diplomatic in saying. I'm trying to not swear as much here, but it's been very, very poor.
Did you, man? What are you telling me, man?
Bro, I might as well be him at this point because I'm down bad. That's worse than the 6-1 last season. It felt worse than 6-1 against Man City because it just looked like a team that just didn't have a clue. We didn't have a clue of anything. Like it just shows, like, from top to bottom, there was no clue from the manager, from the coaches, from the players, like basic things, basic football that we just weren't doing. Communication on a football pitch. We teach that to kids, and we have players running into each other. We have players not knowing where other players are going. And it's the fact that it's against Liverpool as well. Thing is, and I know a lot of Liverpool fans. We're not going to live this down for a while. With City, it was fine because City fans don't exist. I've met 2 City fans and they're secretly United fans anyway, so it isn't a matter. But Liverpool fans exist, and like we didn't see them for almost 30 years, and now they're coming out of the woodwork to clown us. We were never down this bad. Like, even on the LVG, we could scrape wins. Even under Jose, apart from when he got sacked, we could do something. This was just bad on all accounts.
Well, funny you should say that, Sam. The Jose defeat felt better. We knew it was turmoil at that point. It felt better in terms of a team performance than the game that's just happened today.
Without a doubt.
I think what's worse about that one is that the players had given up in the Jose game, so they weren't trying. We had a full team of a better squad of players that's actually trying to win the game. So they're backing the manager, they're backing this process. They want to do well, and they come off looking worse in a 5-0 at home. 5-0.
Okay, let me jump in. Yeah. For me to say, I'm not the type of guy to say I told you so. It is a lie, because I am the type of guy to say I told you so.
At least you know.
I've been saying Oli out for a very long time, and I was abused. I was called a fake fan.
Consumer.
Consumer. We'll get into that one. But, bro, I told you so. And I'm talking to all of you Oli-inners. I'm talking to all of you. You know who you are. I'm talking to each and every single one of you. Yeah, that I've talking to. I've spoken to in person or by social media. I'm talking to all of you, bro. I told you, this guy ain't the guy. This guy ain't the guy. Bro, he's just a PR merchant. These words, these phrases that come with him, like trust the process, like cultural rebuild. It's just PR.
They don't exist.
PR's been carrying Oli since day one. That's what's been carrying Oli. That's why Oli's still at a job. It's not because of how great of a job he's done, because he hasn't done better than LVG or Jose. But he's lasted longer than both of them because of PR, because of, a fake picture. A fake picture, a fake rebuild, a fake process. This is why he's lasted for as long as he has. And now we're suffering because of it. 5-0. And that's not even the worst of it. We're already out of the Carabao Cup. And I don't really care about the Carabao Cup. But you know what? That's probably Oli's best
Why are you
chance
reminding us?
No, but I'm saying that was probably Oli's best chance of winning a trophy. If we go back to the beginning of the season and we asked ourselves, what's Oli's best chance of winning a trophy? We would have all said the Carabao Cup, and he's already out of that. The Premier League looks like it's gone. The Champions League, he might get out the group stages, but the way he started the group stages, yeah, the game against Young Boys, where we lost, the game against Villarreal, where we scraped to win, the game against Atlanta, where we scraped to win, shows me that we ain't got no chance of winning the champ. We ain't got no chance of reaching the quarters. We ain't got no chance.
Reaching the quarter. We're not making it out of the group. Let's be realistic. We're not making it out of the group. It happened last year. It's gonna happen again. If this guy is in a job tomorrow morning, if he manages our next game, I will honestly I don't think I'll have to stop watching, because I can't, because I value my mental health over this club. I'm not going to watch this club deteriorate under a guy that does not know what he's doing. There's so many things wrong. We're just back in the same place where we were 3 years ago, when people said, Jose is the problem. We need a cultural reset. It was called the structure is broken. We don't have anything at the top. It's the same issues all over again. Nothing's changed in 3 years. This whole rebuild and process, all that's changed is Woodward's leaving in about 3 months. He's still going to be talking to the Glazers and doing stuff. We have some guy called Murto, who's the new Ed Woodward. So what's really changed?
The new Ed Woodward. I don't know about that, but yeah, it is a lot of there aren't many changes. It's all very internal. I do agree with that. When you look at the club structure, I think with Ed Woodward walking out, it wouldn't surprise me if Richard Arnold comes in as the new chief exec to replace, which again is another internal movement. To be fair to Richard Arnold, he was very involved in all our commercial deals, and record breaking and all that stuff, which I know Man United's never been attacked for. That's something that they've always been people have given them flowers for. But again, it's like, well, where's the changes? Where's the new faces coming from? You look at the coaching, like, it's just a bit meh. Leaves a bit of taste in your mouth.
By the way, people, we're gonna allow you lot to have your say on this, on Man United in general. Before we move on to other teams, we're gonna post a link in the We're gonna post a link in the chat. If you lot wanna come on and have your say about Manchester United and where they are right now, come on, bro. Anyone's invited. Everyone's invited. You're free to say what you want. But you know what? I want to ask you lot a question.
Oh no.
I want to ask you lot a question about all of this. So
go on.
Ollie's probably been backed the most by out of all the other managers that we've had by the fans. I'm not talking about financial backing. I'm talking about by the fans. He's probably got the most support out of any of the other managers. Jose got killed. LVG got killed. Moyes got killed. Ollie's been backed. Ollie's been supported.
Yeah.
After today's game, where we saw the fans walking out, the fans booing at half time, do you think finally the fans are starting to see the light? They're realizing this whole process, this whole structural rebuild was all just a myth? Do you think they're finally starting to see that?
No, they ain't seen anything. I think they're going to want him out. He'll get out. Then we're going to restart the same thing all over again. We're going to get another manager. Doesn't matter who. We're going to do like a couple of, he's looking good. A couple of good matches. We go on a run. And then people get overexcited like they did with Ollie. Like they did with Jose, it was a different situation because Jose kept it up and he actually won trophies. But they're just going to repeat it again, get overexcited, get overzealous, say that, this manager's going to bring us the world and back, and another treble incoming, etc., etc. We're going back to these old days of 99, 2008. And then we're going to end up at the same place where the fans now turn on the manager because of one thing or another. We get a couple of players saying a couple of things out of turn, and we're just going to end up at the same place again and again. And there's a lot more that needs to be done than just sacking Ollie. There is so much more that needs to be done. And I think, again, Ollie's a scapegoat. All these managers that have come in post-Fergie have just been scapegoats for problems above that are much bigger and much more ingrained into our club. Because fundamentally, I'm going to say that like right now, Manchester United fundamentally is basically Arsenal with Daddy's credit card. That is all we are.
Yeah.
We do not do anything different from them apart from the fact we spend more. And that's because we rake in more.
Okay, before we move on to Jinky, sorry, Deji, but we do have a couple of coolers. We do have a couple of coolers backstage to try and heat things up.
Before I'm just looking at all these comments and laughing. We've got the Said 2.0, DT 2.0, which I think is a reference to me and Deji 2.0.
No.
So this is violations.
No.
I'm DT if I was an estate agent, if that's the case.
I'm young.
No.
Anyway, let's go to the coolers. My brother, Alec, we'll start with you. What are you telling me, bro? Jokers
Bro,
FC.
I'm honestly, I'm sick, man. It's one of the worst things I could have witnessed as a fan at home. And I remember as a teenager seeing like this time, the 08s, the 07s, the Fergie towards the end, the Ronaldo in his prime. And like the man is tactically inept. And when I knew that after the Atalanta game, when we went down 2-0, I said, if we're in the same scenario against Liverpool, there's no chance of coming back. And the fact that there were things that we were picking out in conversation in the voice chat amongst me and other fans, talking about what we could do and what we would have did and how we approached the game to start, which would have benefited us more. You see Ronaldo on the left-hand side cuts in. If had Cavani started that game and you put Rashford on the right, not to say Greenwood wasn't justifiable to have played or not, but this fan seeing things that you could do to adjust the game and having better opportunity to score and provide yourself with more chances. Ronaldo cuts in from the left, scores a goal that was offside or whatever it was, a foul. I don't recall because I'm just so frustrated with the result. But you see Cavani's work rate, even Martial, someone else we had spoke to earlier, doesn't get as much game time, but his hold-up play in that scenario to then service somebody from out wide in all these first full season when he was doing that, he was phenomenal after preseason. We saw what he could do. There were too many answers and options and different things that you could do to adjust and fix this game that you made no attempt in doing. And it hurts so much that as a fan, you can see some of these things and logically you don't even have, I have no coaching experience, but you can identify where there's weak points. Milner, when he gets the half turn and he slips, I'm like, oh, maybe if we targeted attacking that area all game, we would have had a couple more opportunities. I'm identifying this as a 27-year-old man at my house in America, and you're a 50-some-odd-year-old coach, and you have all this 10 years of managerial experience, but you can't identify an issue when it's staring you in the face, and I'm thousands of miles across the world, and you're in front of seeing it live, knowing what to attack, what to exploit, and you just don't. What did he say at halftime? Oh, come on, boys, do it for the fans. Nah, man, I can't take what this guy is using as a reason or source. I like excuses. I don't want to hear a word that he has to say after the match. I refuse to look at the post-match press conference. They said we played like kids. He's probably going to get dropped because he's undermining the manager. But is he wrong? We did play like kids. Conte, Ten Hag, Gasparini, Zidane. Any of these managers would do a better job. They would adjust. They would do different. Any manager would kill to have this team on paper at its fully fit, fully like good, ready to go, fully fit and healthy team. No manager in the world would deny taking this team with the amount of talent that's there. But we have it given to a man who's driving, all he at the wheel. Well, he's driving with his closed, and he's been doing it for quite some time. And that's all I got to say on that subject. I appreciate it.
So
horrible performance.
I feel the pain, bro. Like just like ZT said in a comment, the pain, bro. I feel it, bro. But before we move on to Liverpool, because this is a season review, at the end of the day, we can't be talking about United the whole way. But before we move on to Liverpool, M9, what are you telling me, bro? What's your thoughts?
How are you guys, man? How are you guys doing today, man?
Good, bro. Well, better. Been better.
Still breathing.
Still alive.
Yeah. I mean, just gonna say, obviously, thanks for inviting us, obviously, and thanks to the chat as well, man. Enjoying your streams and everything as well.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
But yeah, what can I say, man? Utterly shocking, abysmal performance. I'll say something in Arabic as well. This today, I've been saying it all week that against Liverpool, it was going to be a janazah today. Salah was going to be the imam, and what happened?
Oh,
bro, and I'm a United fan, and I'm saying this as well. That this was going to be a janazah, and that's what's happened. That's what's happened.
For the people that don't understand, that's basically.
Yeah, for the people that don't understand, a janazah is a funeral. It's a funeral. So that's what literally happened. It was practically a systematic beatdown, and then Oli was put in his coffin. That's what's happened.
Can't disagree with that.
We looked absolutely out of our minds, with just coming second balls to everything. I think Jokers FC just said it, with the hit the nail on the head, with the hammer. We were absolutely shocking and shit as well. I'll be honest with you. And then you have clowns like Gary Neville coming on, saying that, give him a chance to change and come back from this result. Like, what? What is he talking about?
No, he admitted himself.
Yeah.
He won't say Oli out because he's his friend.
Yeah. I agree with that.
He just showed he has no integrity.
Friend and a club legend.
Yeah, definitely.
Bro, he has no integrity then.
He has no integrity. I think one of the first people that came and slammed him was Robin van Persie, if I remember rightly. So,
we haven't seen him since.
Yeah. And we've not seen him since because of that reason that, you have these friends of Oli, in the media that are Ollie in.
Bias.
Yeah. You have these guys who are biased as well. You have some of the YouTube fans as well, or I mean, not fans, but the channels. I'm not going to name them for certain reasons, but obviously who are top Reds as well. Still backing Ollie. Like, how can you still back Ollie after after the money he spent?
Not to interrupt, Chaka, but there was one moment at the very end of the game when he was clapping, and all I could think was, if you had any pride, you walk out of that stadium with your head down and you admit your defeat at the end of that match, and you got enough money, you leave this job and you leave with whatever pride you have left intact, and that's it for me. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
To be fair, he was clapping. That day, there were a number of fans who were clapping him. Certainly towards the Stretford end, they were clapping. So he has to acknowledge the fans, because at the end of the day, those guys were singing. Well, you might have got violated, but he's not going to show disrespect to fans, is he?
No, we got violated by Liverpool fans, who are chanting Ollie's at the wheel, fucking hell.
Yeah, but specifically towards the end of the game, they said, I saw on camera, there was a lot of fans out still clapping him, so he has to acknowledge that. He can't dismiss them.
Yeah. I mean, if I were him, I'd do what Kevin Keegan did,
what I meant was, like, other than clapping, if he put his hands up, or I know you might not want to do that on camera, or it looks embarrassing, but because like I said, I'm not watching the post-match press conference, but there needs to be an addressing of, I have to hold my hands up, because that team on paper, whether how good Liverpool is or isn't, I expected a 3-1 loss at home. A draw would have been lucky. I really did, because I see how consistent Liverpool perform, how good they work as a unit. People talk about Salah's selfishness and Mane and Salah not passing to each other, but the game plan is there, and they stick by it, and they get results because of that. We have a team of individuals who have no cohesion, and it's so upsetting to see. It really is. It really is.
Shaka, just quick.
I'd love to continue to talk about Man United, but we've talked about Man United for 20 minutes, but this is a season review. Review. So I say we move on to Liverpool. How good did Liverpool look today? And are they genuinely like the favorites for the league? Because for me, they're my favorites. But we're gonna rotate the coolers. So M9, Alec, my bros, thank you for coming on. We
appreciate it, man.
We appreciate it, man. We're gonna rotate the coolers. So let's talk about Liverpool. How good do Liverpool look?
Let me go. I'll be quite frank. This weren't Liverpool at their best. This weren't Liverpool at half their best, because they didn't need to be. What they did was what they did last season as well. They just let us make our own mistakes and took it from there. They didn't need to. Their press wasn't even that hard. I saw them press more against Brentford. They were intense against Brentford because Brentford showed something. Liverpool did not care. They knew that they're going to mess up. Within how many minutes? 5 minutes, Luke Shaw does an awful pass. And they're like, well, that's the first one. Let's keep going. They didn't need to be. This is, honestly, you could call this one of Liverpool's lesser performances this season. The scoreline, though, because we were honestly that bad that Liverpool, because I've seen Liverpool play much better. Liverpool are a fantastic team under one of the best coaches in world football right now. They have many levels to go up higher than this. If they were playing at 100%, full strength starting 11 with Thiago and Fabinho, we are done. We lose minimum 12-0. Minimum.
Liverpool for me, and we talked about this before the season started, because of that spotlight being on Man City with the Grealish deal, with Chelsea with the Lukaku deal, then Man United. It would seem to be getting better. You had Sancho and Varane, then Cristiano Ronaldo, like the biggest sign that you could get. I think only Messi could compete at that point. So all the spotlight was on them, and typical media, they're gassing these teams up to be title challengers. And I don't think there was any sort of disrespect to Liverpool, but Liverpool weren't talked about as much. They weren't in the spotlight, and the thing is that was the perfect storm for Liverpool. Liverpool love to be the underdogs. They want to quietly go about their business, because when the spotlight's on them, then maybe they tend to falter. But they've just gone about their business. And then, well, look, they're still unbeaten, playing very, very good football. I agree with Sam. Today was probably third gear, if that. And I think I'm being generous. Still good. But this is a team who know how to play. They know the setup. They know it so well. They don't have to be at their best because it's just ingrained. It's second nature. It's percentages football. You know what Trent is going to do. You know what Andy Robertson's going to do. You know what the front three are going to do. You know what that midfield are going to do. You know they're going to battle. You know that they're going to cover the wing backs so they're not so exposed defensively. It's been brilliant, and I've got to say, I'm only glad as a United fan that the AFCON is coming, because if the AFCON wasn't coming, then the league is in trouble. But that may peg them back, a little bit. I don't know. Jota might come up trumps.
Oh God!
But for me, that's going to be a key part. I also thought key part. I know it's not Premier League, but the Champions League game against Atletico Madrid, to beat them was massive. Because they always struggled against teams like that, and Atletico are the biggest scumbags when it comes to defensive football, and they overcame that. That's a worrying thing for me, massively worrying thing.
My thoughts on Liverpool: they're gonna win the league, because the reason I say that is because, like you said, people were focusing on Grealish coming to City, Ronaldo coming back to Man United.
Oh man, he's lighting it up. He's lighting it up.
Lukaku, Lukaku coming back to Chelsea.
Yeah.
What? People are forgetting. Liverpool had big players coming back from injury that weren't playing last season. Van Dijk was injured almost the whole season. He's back now. And it doesn't even look like he's been away. He's been unbelievable since he's been back. You have Mane, who looks like he wasn't himself last season, but him this season, he's slowly coming back to his best self, Last season, Salah was the only one that kept up the form from the league winning season. But now he's got backup. Jota's back from injury as well. Like I said, Van Dijk is back. Mane looking like he's coming back to his best. He's got help now, so it's not just him. Last season, Salah carried that team to top 4 on his back, but now he's got support. And this season, he looks better than he was last season. Salah looks like he's on a mission, and Liverpool are looking scary. But anyway, let's move on to callers. Let's see what the callers have to say about this.
They're crowing. I'm thinking crowing.
Man, like blank. What are you telling me, bro?
Okay. I'm not sure if it's the goal. I'm actually waiting outside for a bus. In fact, I skipped a bus just so I could have a word about Liverpool, because I feel like I have to give the time and I have to respect what a performance. And this is me as a Manchester United fan. So I'm not sure what hurts me. Is it the goal or is it today's defeat? But today's defeat was, you just have to put it in a easier way. You could just say that's what professionals are made of, Liverpool, as opposed to boys. It was boys. Of course, we had individual, big individual stars, but everything right from minute 1 was in disarray. It was panic. But since the previous callers have actually dissected Manchester United, there's nothing more to go. Like, it's the postmortem's done. Like, there's nothing in the body now. So let's talk about Liverpool and how good they are. Salah, and first let's talk about Jurgen Klopp. Like, the difference is when Jurgen Klopp gets his A team, he is unstoppable, and it gives me shivers. It gives me nightmares thinking how Ferguson used to be to those rival fans. And for me, I'm trembling right now what he can do. The potential in this squad is massive. They can go leaps and bounds with this. And Salah is probably on the form of his life, and I'm not sure if there's any player right now. Probably Benzema, but I'd still go with Salah, just the way he's going. How much has he netted so far? 16 and 10, and that's more than 1 goal a game from a winger. And I feel this guy's, if he keeps up with this form, he's probably going to be the best player in the world. Like, he's probably going to win the Ballon
He's
d'Or.
definitely the best player in the world right now.
Right now, undoubtedly. Like, there's no debate to be had. And Konate, Van Dijk, like, yeah, of course, Van Dijk has started slow, but it does, when Van Dijk and Konate comes in, and all of a sudden, Klopp gets his team back, the system starts to function, and it complements every single player. Like, it works for the way. Even if there was one moment where Rashford was cutting in players, like probably towards the end of the first half, right? If that was Manchester United, that would have been a tap in for someone like a Firmino, etc. But then Liverpool make their own luck. I mean, the way they defend, they just made Man United go in semicircles. I feel like it was pointless for us to have more of the ball when we couldn't even cut through a Naby Keita midfield, or let's say Henderson and Naby Keita, left alone getting past Konate and Big Van Dijk. Like, they just showed they can bully Manchester United, regardless of who it is. Ronaldo, I'm a massive Ronaldo fan myself, and I feel hurt in a sense. Of course, I do he's my personal, like, he could say he's kind of my idol, but then I also felt annoyed because the way we reacted to the first goal, second goal, regardless of what the defense had done, the way our attackers reacted was bad, because I was expecting quality to at least these players to step up a bit, to at least show some signs of coming close to them. But then it would probably go down to the fact that Liverpool's back line is solid. That's the only reason that I have. I feel maybe we had the quality, but then it's just that Liverpool were just overwhelming, like the defense. And of course, Henderson, I'm not sure, like, he's probably one of the most disrespected, underrated players the Premier League would have ever had. Like, we talk about Salah,
I don't think he's disrespected anymore. I think before, when Liverpool became competitive, I think he got a lot of respect, and I think that stayed. I don't think people criticise him. Just on your note about defence, I've got to say a massive shout out to Konate today. Great performance, because let's be honest, Matip hasn't particularly done much wrong for Liverpool. Arguably, and I think a lot of Liverpool fans would agree with me, this one's probably been the better centre-back out of him and Van Dijk. You probably say Konate was probably better in terms of how Man United may attack us, but considering he hasn't played many games, I think it's very, very good. Very, very good.
Anyway, let's blank. I thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
we appreciate you coming on. Make sure you take the next bus. I know you skipped the bus just to come on the show. We appreciate that. But bro, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Cheers, Blank.
Yeah.
But anyway, people, let's move on to Tottenham. Just this weekend, they lost to West Ham. What's you lot's overall thoughts on Tottenham this season? Harry Kane, the manager. What's
boring Tottenham Hotspur. Let's keep singing out boring Tottenham Hotspur. There's no glory. I appreciate it. This is funny coming from a United fan, because he's even above us at this point. But it doesn't feel right. It really doesn't feel right with what Nuno's doing. The football that he's trying to bed in just doesn't fit the players. It doesn't, doesn't play to Son's strength. I'm not, there's a lot of talk about it. Kane not really thriving from it. This guy until recently was trying out Dele Alli. Do you know what I mean? Like, the whole approach, the midfield stinks. I used to associate Spurs for the last few seasons with real sort of marauding fullbacks and everything like that. And yeah, Royal is, does that certain group. It's just not the same. It's not the same. Yet here they are, just around sort of top four. They've lost 4 games now, haven't they? 4 games out of 9. And they're quite. Yeah, it kind of feels like a weird sort of Pochettino when he was struggling sort of thing, sort of type of season. I can't see him being there until the end of the season, if I'm being honest. It just feels like a disconnect in a similar way that Sarri perhaps feel like a disconnect to Chelsea. I know Sarri won a Europa League, and Spurs may, win a Conference League, but just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right to me. They've been very, very poor, and actually Spurs have got they've got a few good players. When you compare that to West Ham,
Yep.
West Ham look like they're punching above their weight. You know what I mean? Like, you see David Moyes, this is like a rebirth, you know, for him struggling obviously after the Man United job. He's doing wonders, absolute wonders with the players that he's doing. But hey, there seems to be the right profile of player in a system. You know what I mean? So we'll talk more about West Ham, but Spurs are just naff for me. Absolutely naff.
What are you telling me, Deji? What are you telling me about Tottenham?
Oh, come
What are
on.
you telling me about Tottenham?
Yeah, Tottenham, they've just gone rid of Jose for a B-Tech Jose. So
Oof.
like
Oof.
not even B-Tech. That's insulting to Jose. This guy Nuno is like Z-Tech Jose. He's not a good manager. He had a good run at Wolves, fine. He had some decent. He got them to what's called Europa League football, Europa League semi-final or quarter-final. I don't remember which one. Yeah, quarter-final.
Yeah, against Sevilla.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be quite frank. That was an overachievement for him and that club, and he's never going to be able to reach that height again. He's not a European manager. He's not that level. He's just below it. And I think for Spurs to go in for a manager like that, it just shows. I've always associated Spurs as a club. It's going to sound really insulting, but it's true. They are a club that sometimes do not respect themselves. For them to go after someone like Nuno, they truly must not think very highly of themselves in terms of the manager they could bring in, because they could probably bring in more.
But Doctor, they went for Conte. They went for all of these big managers, but none of them wanted to come. They were going for these Nagelsmanns as well. Remember, they were linked to Nagelsmann. They were linked to Conte. Who else were they linked to?
That's true. That's very, very true.
Yeah, they were linked to these big. I'm sure, weren't they linked to Allegri as well? Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember, but they were linked.
Yeah, they were. They were.
Yeah, but they went down the pecking order because they went down the list because they just kept getting rejected. None of these people wanted to work under Daniel Levy.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's what Daniel Levy's negotiations with these teams is what the issue was, because I think Daniel Levy is he tries to move like he clearly, like what he did with Jose. I think other managers have looked at that and think, oh, so I'm basically going to be here until I'm about to win something, and then they will sack me because they're scared of success. Or like Daniel Levy is not someone to go into business with. I think if it wasn't for Daniel Levy, a lot of other managers would have seriously considered going to Spurs. I think that's like, Spurs aren't a bad team. When I'm seeing Everton get Ancelotti, I'm very sure Spurs can get a manager of some decent quality.
I think, to be honest, though, Everton's setup is a bit different to Spurs. I think there's a little bit more freedom. I don't think there's particular good structure. I think Everton's structure is a very poor version of Man United. Yeah, we'll just get any old player and hopefully they stick. I think Benitez is probably the first manager who's really thought about the players that he needs. To you know, you look at he spent nothing on the Damari Gray. Oh, sorry, not Damari Gray. Very little money on Damari Gray and no money on Andros Townsend. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he thought about those players because he knew that at some point he needs counter-attacking players, and it worked to a point. I don't see that with Spurs. I think Nuno needs to maybe look at what he did at Wolves. I appreciate that against the big teams they did play sort of compact and tight, and they'd try and grind games out 0-0. But Wolves actually looked their best under Nuno when they were counter-attacking. You know, when the likes of Jimenez was holding the ball up, you know, linking with the likes of Jota, dare I say, Traore, etc. That was the best. That was the best of Nuno. Are you telling me that he could not implement that with Harry Kane, who is known for his link-up play, the likes of Son, the likes of Moura, etc.? You can't do that with them. They're better versions, surely. So I don't get it. I don't get why he's changed it that much for me.
Anyway, let's bring on some more coolers. Let's see what the people have to say about this topic. We've got man like Atomic coming on. What are you telling me, bro? Chelsea fan, but Tottenham, one of your biggest rivals. What's your thoughts on on Tottenham.
What's he got to say about Tottenham?
Tottenham. These men are shit, basically. Yeah. Nah, for real, yeah. Like, I only watched the second half, but I remember Harry Kane for that. He was at fault for the the Antonio goal. Like, the guy's literally holding Ivan Toney. Man, they take a corner, it goes past some defenders, and then he just lets it go. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like their attack was just dead. West Ham were just defending. Spurs were just trying to attack. They couldn't break anything down. Like, it's crazy. Like, a few years ago, these men were in a UCL final and they've just declined. It's been like an unnoticeable decline because we have some other shit teams like Arsenal. So like, I feel like Spurs don't get criticized as much. So like, these men they spiral down, man, and I don't really see them getting back up anytime soon. They're just as bad as Arsenal, man. And Harry Kane, my man, I don't know where his head is at, bro. Like, this guy, his body is here, but his soul and spirit is at Man City, bro. Like, nah, it's peak for that, man. Peak.
Beta Callum Shearer, don't worry.
Let me have my views on Tottenham. This is my views on Tottenham. This is Tottenham. Like Doctor said earlier on, Tottenham have no respect for themselves. The Tottenham fans have no respect for themselves. And let me tell you why.
Ooh.
If you remember, let me compare the Tottenham fans to the Aston Villa fans, because I respect Aston Villa fans.
This is getting uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable truth.
This is the uncomfortable truth for a reason. Let me tell you why I respect Aston Villa fans first. Because look at you know when Grealish moved to Man City, bro, the Villa fans were not happy with Grealish. They turned on him. You saw videos of Villa fans burning shirts of Grealish. They turn on him. Because they respect themselves. They have respect for themselves. They put the club over any player. They respect themselves. But when Harry Kane was trying to force a move away from Tottenham, yeah, when he wanted to move away from Tottenham and go to a Man City, all of these Tottenham fans were saying, yeah, I feel him. I get where he's coming from. I'll support him. You have no respect for yourself.
Do you not think that there is mistrust now, and it's just there's not that same he's one of our own chance and all that? Because I feel like it's different. I feel like it's a bit awkward now.
No, I disagree, man, because I've always heard like when I talk to Tottenham fans, when I hear Tottenham fans speak, they're always saying, I understand where Kane is coming from. You know, we're on the Discord, we're on the ministry Discord. Yeah,
if
by
he
the
had
way,
left
you want to
and
join
he was playing
the
for Man
ministry
City right
Discord?
now, they'd be slating him.
Yeah,
if he wasn't
if
a
you
Man,
wanna
if
join
it was
the
a Man
ministry
City right
Discord,
now,
join by clicking the link in the description. But anyway, we hear the Tottenham fans in the ministry Discord, they're always saying, we understand Kane, we want him to leave. I've actually heard Tottenham fans say we want Kane to leave because he deserves to win trophies. Do you have no respect for yourself? But on the same Discord, yeah, I hear the Villa fans saying, I hope Grealish flops at City. I hope Grealish flops at City.
Do you think, because Spurs and Tommy, you mentioned the word decline, and it's been a noticeable decline since that Champions League final. Do you think West Ham's replaced them now?
not yet, but they could, because I see more potential in West Ham than Spurs right now. Yeah, that's
what do you think from a West Ham point of view? Because obviously those two played well. One's on the decline, one's on the incline. You know, old school David Moyes, etc. You know, getting a lot out of these players. What do you think they need to kick on? Because they've had another solid start to the season, but how do they get to that next point?
I think for them, they need to aim for Europa. Where are they in Europa League this season?
Yeah. They're doing
Okay.
well.
Yeah. Try do well in Europe. Get more money into your club so you can go out and spend more, buy better players, improve your team. Because right now they're only 3 points off Man City. It's crazy, like. So if they can just somehow get more money in, get more players in, better players, they can get in. Because last season, those guys almost got top 4. It's just their defense that let them down. This season, they brought in Zuma, and now we're seeing the progress they're making. They're now 4th. That's Champions League spot, so it's looking great for them. But we can't say the same for Spurs right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's feeling like David Moyes of Everton days. Like he's just getting a tune out of these other team.
Well, even Everton look like they're gonna surpass Tottenham now. Tottenham, I think their golden generation's over. The golden generation.
That is a violation right there when you're saying Everton. That's
Bro. Tottenham's golden generation ended with no trophies. The generation's over. But anyway, as Atomic is here, I say we move on to Chelsea.
Yeah.
We move on to Chelsea.
Look at him. Look at his lips. He's on top of the tree.
He's happy.
Top of the tree. Hey, we've got some uncomfortable truths for you. Even top.
But we're gonna go to you last, Atomic. We want to hear from the Chelsea fan last, yeah.
Osman. Should we look at the comments on here? Because there's a lot of engagement, with live chats.
Look at the comment. Chelsea scored 7 without Romelu Lukaku, the fraud. We're gonna talk about Lukaku.
Skills. Hold that thought.
We're gonna talk about that. Has Salah surpassed Eden Hazard? I think so, personally. In the Premier League,
We're making Atomic sweat. We're making Atomic sweat. He's come off cam. We're making him sweat.
Small game, Lukaku.
He's uncomfortable right now.
This is you're on the uncomfortable truth, son.
Be prepared.
Anyway, I'm gonna go to Deji first, yeah?
With the Deji, come on.
Comedy Shorts Gamer. What do you think of Chelsea this season? What's your overall thoughts? Lukaku, Tuchel, just general thoughts on Chelsea.
To be quite frank, in my opinion, it's been all right so far. I think it's also been a bit of an up and down. They have had some losses, especially against like Juventus, which was that is not a match they should be losing by any means. That I don't understand how that happened. I still think that at any point, Chelsea is always on the verge of just a combustion. And that's the way Chelsea have been for many years. Like, even if things are going well, you at the back of your mind, you always feel like one thing goes wrong, then it all starts to fall apart. I think right now, Tuchel's doing very well to hold things together, but to me, I'm starting to see not in the cracks in like them playing football, because the way they play football is very secure. They're not gonna concede goals. They might not score a lot apart from against Norwich, but that's Norwich. But yeah, they're not really gonna like. There's always something like you can always tell that at any point within the dressing room, it could always snap. As soon as like if Tuchel messes up with the wrong player, it starts a ripple effect, and then it all just goes apart. And I think that's impending. I've said it many times. I said it in the summer. I'll say it again. I will be surprised if Tuchel stays past Christmas. Honestly.
Anyway, before we move on to Jinky and Atomic, let's introduce some more callers. Man like Porcelain.
Oh, Porcelain. Villa fan.
Let's have your say, bro.
I'm totally unprepared. I was just told by Z to come in. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I've been watching Formula
We're talking about Chelsea right now. We're talking about Chelsea this season. Just your general thoughts on Chelsea this season. Tuchel, Lukaku. What do you want to touch on? Anything, bro?
Yeah. I hear the take being that Lukaku takes away a certain level of sort of attacking freedom that they have, and the sort of movement that the front three can sort of. Well, we saw it at the weekend, didn't we? The sort of devastating fluidity of the Chelsea attack. But, it doesn't hurt to have Lukaku in your team for those games where you're going to need, we saw it last season, those games where you do need that guy in the box. And yeah, he's been asked to do a very different job for Chelsea than he did for Inter. He's not playing the same role. 100%. And it's something completely different. But, Chelsea are a much better team with Lukaku in there. And so you know, it's options at the end of the day as well. It's not necessarily a one or the other. It's you know, would you rather have a squad with Lukaku in it or a squad without Lukaku in it? And I think that any top team would be foolish to pick the latter.
Fair point.
Anyway, we're gonna introduce a new caller. We're gonna introduce Hams as well. But before we let Hams have his say, we're gonna move on to Jinky, then Atomic, because you lot have been waiting. So Jinky, on Chelsea.
It's an odd one with Chelsea because even though you're top, and even like goal difference wise, you're still competing with Liverpool and Man City, who everyone is ranting and raving about. But it just feels like something slightly off. And for me, it's like, you know, Paulson made some really good points, but for me, it feels like there's too many options up front and sort of around that sort of attacking midfield area. And I think that's where it just feels a bit disjointed. It's bizarre because, as I said, you're top. So really, it's like, well, if it ain't broke, but it does feel like it's flirting to the Tuchel project falling apart. And it seemed like Alonso was the fall guy from recent Champions League performances and league performances. Chilwell's come in, he's obviously scored 3 and 3 or something silly like that. And it's like, you know, everything's changed. But I think it was very, very interesting that with Lukaku out, Chelsea did look more fluid. Like take Norwich and how useless they are out of the equation. It just looked fluid. It looked better, and you still had that defensive toughness about you, which you always associate with Chelsea. Lukaku is being played in a different way, and I think Tuchel needs to sort that out. Like that, it's a madness. Stop trying to make him that target man type person who's going to link up with back to goal.
He's got no touch.
Player. Forget about the touch. Like, play to his strengths. Like, this is the guy who, when he's going towards goal at pace, he's at his best. End of. Stop trying to make him. It makes more sense. Werner being a guy who links up because he has the link up play. He's got that really good movement about him. As I said, it's just too many options for Tuchel at this moment in time. I kind of feel he's a bit sort of tied because I kind of feel that Roman behind the scenes wants certain players to play because big money has been spent on them. And I think that may be where the disconnect is. I think if Tuchel had his own way, you wouldn't be seeing it. But brilliant so far. But I think you'll be challenging for the league, but I just think you'll fall short because I don't think you'll score enough compared to City or even Liverpool.
Atomic, what are you saying?
Yeah, I just want to reply. Yeah, he made a good point just now. We do have a lot of options going forward. We have like lots of wingers. We have Cho, Pulisic, Ziyech, Mount, Werner. I don't know if I missed someone, but that's a lot of options. And I feel like some people have gotten a lot of chances to play and have just not delivered. So, and I feel like those players are the ones that we spent big money on.
Can we have names?
Names. Okay.
Can we have names?
Name names.
Name and shame.
Okay, basically, the main two, I could say Ziyech, Werner at times, Havertz.
Yes.
Yeah, them three. Sometimes, but like Norwich. Come on.
Anyway,
this is live, people. This is what you get sometimes.
Live TV, people.
Should we get Hams to jump in?
Yeah, let's let Hams jump in, but while Atomic's sorting some stuff out.
All right. Yeah, as people knew that I'm my name is Hams. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm just honored and happy to be in this show, and let's get this show on the ball. You know what I mean? You talk about Chelsea, yeah?
Yeah, we're talking about Chelsea, brother. We're talking about Chelsea. You're a Chelsea fan, bro. What's your overall thoughts? You know, Lukaku, Tuchel, everything, bro. Winning the league, possibly.
I don't want to jinx anything yet, but okay. The first thing I have to say is about our season. I know we're top of the league, and I know things are going like dramatically well, but I'm just, with Lukaku in the pitch, I think we're like going over the top when it comes to pushing Lukaku, getting Lukaku the goals, and just relying on him to be the focal point of the team. What I want to do is like I seen in the Norwich game, that we're more fluid, we're more in our zone, which I wanted for like a couple of games now. And the fact that I know Lukaku can bury chances, I know he can do all that stuff. I don't want him to be the the focus, like the spotlight that we should focus on. You know what I mean? I want other people to like get involved, other people to create, use the widths, use the wings, and But all in all, it's been a good start to the season. I know despite the Man City loss, despite the Juventus loss, it's not really like we lost to like the smaller teams such as Norwich or flipping one of those lower level teams. So I'll take it for granted that the season's been absolutely fantastic for me.
Do you think you're looking stronger than Liverpool and City? Do you think you could win the league?
I mean, it really depends on the consistency at the point at the moment, because when you look at how I know Liverpool have 3 draws and they haven't lost a game since April, but they still look up there as the underdogs. No one spoke about them. Liverpool are still up there, no matter a shadow of a doubt. But City are a tough one to like. They're very, very good. They have a world-class manager. I mean, same as Liverpool, but we can't write off City as well, because City, if we write them off, City's on another level. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. As long as we stay like stable, as long as we stay consistent, then we have every right of a chance to win the league. Why not? You know what I mean? Why not?
100%, man. But anyway, thank you, you lot, for coming on. We appreciate it. We're gonna
Should we keep porcelain on for Villa? Villa.
Villa.
Yeah.
We're irrelevant, mate. So
any quick comments on Dean Smith? Because I know you're a massive fan.
Get him out of the club.
Get him out.
Yeah.
So where's all that money's gone to nothing then? That Grealish money's gone to nothing.
No, it's I don't necessarily say that. I think Leon Bailey's unbelievable. He's an incredible talent. He's by far been the best player when he's been on. He's been the best player
made of glass.
That's unfortunately the case. It looks like he's got this thigh issue that seems to be sort of rearing its ugly head every other week. But hopefully it's just a recurring thing from the off season, and it's something he can shake off soon. Emi Buendia, our record signing, he's being played out of position. Norwich fans warned us over and over again that he's not a number 10. He's not a number 10. So what does Dean Smith do? Plays him as number 10 because he thinks we need that. He thinks we're much better with a 4-3-3 with 3 midfielders, with an energetic midfield like Liverpool. However, Dean Smith has got it in his head that we need a number 10, so he's playing our record signing out of position, and then he's playing 2 strikers, which basically means we have no wingers, despite the fact we bought 2 very expensive wingers. The guy has absolutely no idea what he's doing. He's a championship manager masquerading as a Premier League one, and we're never going to crack the top 10 with that guy in charge.
Yeah, Emi Buendia, being a local correspondent of his former club. Yeah, I must admit I'm a bit confused in terms of how he's played, because you look at him,
midfield, right winger is.
Well, he's a floating attacking midfielder, but he operates from the right. So him, I would have thought a Cash and him would thrive personally, but it's been played in a different way, so it doesn't look as good. And I said, like, you want these Leon Baileys and stuff more in that position, but it's just very poor setup against Arsenal.
Yeah, it was probably the worst game I've ever seen as a Villa fan. It was just horrific.
I would actually say that setup that Dean Smith had against Arsenal was worse than Norwich's setup against Chelsea.
Oh, he's asking for trouble. He just completely conceded the midfield. He conceded everything. Arsenal were able to overload the wide areas, and then we just lacked the energy as well. I mean, you can make that system work, but you need an energetic midfield. You need the likes of John McGinn to be harrying their midfielders and really putting them under pressure, and we just didn't do that. We just stood off them. We strolled around the park like it's a Sunday afternoon, and it was just an absolute disaster showing. Really, I'm just so low as a Villa fan right now. It's not the end of the world. We're not sort of in dangerous trouble, but it's just doesn't feel very good.
And what's the limit for you this season? Where do you think Villa will finish? Being honest,
with Smith in charge, we'll probably finish around 13th, 14th, maybe lower even. But I think that quality will shine out. I think we've got too many good players to be drawn into any real danger. But it's going to be an underwhelming season, and it's going to be the first season that we don't see progress under this manager. And I think that should open the eyes of a lot of our fan base. But unfortunately, Dean Smith is an Aston Villa fan, so we've got that sentimentality curse that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has, which means we're probably never going to get rid of the manager, which, you know.
Oh,
that's true.
Oh,
take
comments.
Oli, please. Take Oli.
You know, we were interested in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer way back when. We approached him and everything. He turned us down. So, yeah, you know. I mean, it was when we were a championship side, and I think he was at Malmo, and yeah, he turned us down. I mean, getting rejected by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, how much...
It's down bad. You're down bad there.
Yeah, how much abuse can my club get?
Cool. That's good.
I'll let you get on other callers anyway. But thanks.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you for coming on.
Appreciate you.
Unique insight into a different club.
Yeah, man.
Definitely, man.
Hams, my brother. We also appreciate you coming on, man. We appreciate you coming on. But
what are you feeling, Osman? What are you feeling? You feeling Arsenal? I feel like you're feeling Arsenal.
I can see in your eyes. I can see it.
He's licking his lips.
I'm feeling Arsenal. But before I say my thoughts, I'm gonna let you lot talk.
Let me handle this. Let me handle this.
The doctor's got it. The doctor's got it.
Knowing that Arsenal exists is why I always don't feel as bad as a United fan, because I can always look across at Arsenal and like they're just so much worse. They're just that much worse. I said it earlier, we are Arsenal, but we've got the credit card. It will never get as bad because we're able to buy a certain caliber of player with the money we have. They can't do that. They have to go to rejects like Odegaard. Real Madrid rejects like Odegaard. Bro, I said it then. He ain't that good. They will gas up the most minuscule of things. We've been waiting for Pepe to become this world-class right winger. He only shows up when he's going up against Luke Shaw as twice a season. Like they're banking on Emile Smith-Rowe to be the guy. Great, he's a great talent. He's a young kid. He can't do anything. Ben White, imagine, we bought Maguire for 80 million. I still think that Ben White is worse for 50. Because what CV does he have to really be worth 50 million to Arsenal now? It is it's so bad for them. The team is a shambles. I don't care if they're in good form right now. It's all temporary. This is all temporary. By Christmas, they'll start heading back down the table, and they'll now just start sending somewhere mid-table, 8th, 9th, 10th. That's where they should be, and that is what they deserve, because they have not put anything serious into their club. When I'm seeing Villa by Leon Bailey, I'm seeing Arsenal by Ben White. Come on, it's not serious club.
No, I think that's a very, very harsh assessment of Arsenal. I may be an assessment that was perhaps valid the last two seasons. One thing I will say about Arteta is actually I do see a structure in place in terms of their approach. It is very pragmatic. It is very defensive. But look, you're talking about signings. Well, just because they haven't got the big names that you're aware of doesn't mean that it's not like there is a plan behind it. They've clearly gone for, hidden gems, players who can improve, get better as they get older. I think actually a lot of their signings this season have been all right. Is it Tavares, who's left back, left wing back? Like he looks all right. Sambi Lokonga, I don't think he's done that much wrong in centre mid. Tomiyasu, I think it's been a brilliant right back. Actually, I actually feel that for me is one of the top signings of this season. Like, unless you were a real hardcore Serie A fan, you know, how much did you know about this guy in the first place? So he looks like I don't think he's going to set the world alight. I think he's just going to be solid going forward and back end and just be that type of defender. But he's done not much wrong. Ramsdale's come in. Like, I've watched this guy, Sheffield United and Bournemouth, and I've got to say, he guy looked like a bum, and I'm not even like afraid to say that. I understand the hype about him from AFC Wimbledon. He's a young English goalkeeper. You know, people want to snap that up straight away. He's a cheap Dean Henderson, maybe, as far as people are concerned. But he looked like a bum. Then he goes to Arsenal and he's doing bits. So he's actually done very, very well. He's done very, very well. And I've got to give credit where it's due. And Ben White, you know, you laugh at Ben White, but alongside Gabriel, they actually look solid. They look more solid than Maguire and bloody Varane. And how much did that? How much money that cost to assemble?
That's down to the manager, you know. I don't rate Arteta.
Maybe so. But he's done more with less. He's got a better defensive team with less. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like profile of player. Yeah, they might have spent a little bit more than Manchester United this summer, but that's more of an accumulation of players, in my opinion. And maybe Ramsdale just and Ben White sort of tipped it over. But no, I think they've been fine. Look, Saka's a talent. So my only concern with Arsenal is that they've got a good enough starting 11. When those starters get injured, where do they go from there? And I think that might be the issue. Do they have a good enough squad? That will be next year's project for Arteta to sort out. Because I think he'll stay. I think it won't be a fantastic season for Arsenal. It'll just be a good season. It'll look like a season of progress. I just think they don't have a big enough squad at this point. So it is injury reliant. But I think it's been good so far for him. I think it's been good.
Anyway, we're going to bring on some Arsenal fans to have
no.
their say.
No.
I don't want to hear about the Invincibles, all right?
I haven't seen them. Rams. I just want to talk about Ramsdale, man. Like Ramsdale, I did not rate Ramsdale when we signed him. I was fuming when we signed him because I wanted Onana in. But he has proved me wrong in the games we have played. Under him, we have looked much better when we looked under Leno. Apart from that, I don't think Arteta is any good for us. He has brought in the players. I think the players have talent. They're not as good right now, but give it like, let's say 2 seasons, these players will be challenging for top 6, top 4, something like that. This season, I think we're going to finish another like 8th or 9th. We're just having a good patch right now. Pepe is, I can't rate Pepe. And what I do want is in January, just give me a midfielder. Yeah.
Anyway, my thoughts on Arsenal. Let me give you my thoughts on Arsenal. I think Arsenal, they're exactly like Man United, but a little bit worse. But everything's exactly the same. Arteta is Oli. The Arteta inners are Oli inners. They're exactly the same. Everything's exactly the same. It's like looking in a mirror when looking at Arsenal fans and when looking at Arsenal. Because
that's a cheap mirror.
But when it comes to Arsenal, yeah, and Arteta, let me talk about Arteta first. I think the reason why I say it's exactly like Oli is because all of these Arteta inners, they're also talking about process, trusting the process. It's also about PR. It's just PR, fake pushing out a fake image, a fake narrative that something is being built, but nothing is being built. Let's be real. It's just PR, just like Oli is just PR. It's just PR. Arteta, he won the FA Cup when he first joined, but overall, it hasn't been like, it's for me. It's Arsenal United is exactly the same. But the transfers, I agree with what Jinky was saying earlier. I think they're making some very, very good transfers. I think they're bringing in young players. I know Doctor criticized Ben White earlier, but I think he was a little bit too expensive, but he's a good player. They bought in Gabriel, good player. They're fixing up their defense. So I think transfer-wise, they're doing very well. So if they bring in a better manager than Arteta, I actually think someone could do something with this team. Somebody could do something with this team. But anyway, let's move on to the final Big Six team. Yeah, we've covered Liverpool, we've covered United, we covered Chelsea, we covered Tottenham, we covered Arsenal. Now let's move on to the least relevant one.
Yeah.
Like, you see how in Match of the Day they leave the worst till last.
Fan base drops.
The most irrelevant team till last. But anyway, Killer, thank you for coming on. We're gonna reshuffle the coolers. So thank you for coming on, my brother. But anyway, let's talk about City, the least relevant.
Yeah.
But
Well, the now quiet club. No, they're no longer noisy. I think. Look, they're doing well. City is City. Like they're gonna be up there for me, favourites for the Prem, and this is without a striker. Because the way that Jesus gets played, like, you know, it's not necessarily an out-and-out striker, but they're doing really well. The same with Liverpool. You probably have them and Liverpool pushing for a title, and then maybe Chelsea just behind. And I think City just know enough to kick them on now. They know how to win leagues. It's as simple as that. They know how to go on runs at the key times. I think Pep has done a good job of his existing players. I think new players that have come in, I think there needs to be conversations. Have you got £100 million out of Jack Grealish? Personally, I'm not convinced. I find it a bit hilarious that for a player who was way less in price, in Jadon Sancho, you're seeing video clips and everything like that every single game, memes, gifs of this guy. And then you got Grealish, not a word. This is a guy who literally looked like a turtle on the back of his shell against PSG. What's he done to show that he's £100 million player? I see Paul Pogba get slated. I was seeing Paul Pogba get slated when he was getting 4 assists. What's this guy doing? This man's bouncing deflected shots off his knee against Norwich and getting flowers for it. I'm not having that. There needs to be conversations about this guy with these 3-figure sums behind him.
Short socks merchant. But anyway, before we move on to Deji, we got another cooler in. My bro, what are you telling me, Prime? What's your thoughts on Manchester City? Overall,
here he is.
Big up, Prime.
Big up, people. Man City. Jack Grealish, I think it was the wrong signing. Honestly, I think they should have bought, someone like Kane or someone who can play that false nine and facilitate what they do. I don't get the hype around Jack Grealish from English fans. He's not like special. People want to compare him to like Hazard, and Neymar and stuff. Like he's not that special. Like he'll go in the City system and he'll be a machine, another cog in that system. But that spark that people talk about just won't be there. Like look at something like Mahrez. It took him 2 years to actually cement himself in that City system, and only now, last season, only now you're seeing how great he actually is in that team. Same with Bernardo Silva. He was there for 3 years, and he wasn't shining, and only now you're starting to see how great he truly is. Grealish is not going to have that shine of those who have, because he's just not on that level, in my personal opinion.
Prime, I feel like it just is confused that left side for me. Like they're trying to find a way to incorporate Grealish, but then Foden has looked better in that area. Sterling was traditionally in that area. He was bought for City before. I know City fans might be a bit annoyed from last season, but I don't see that improving with Grealish being there. Personally,
no, it won't. It won't. I don't know. I thought we all thought that Foden would be the heir to David Silva and everything in that midfield. And then when they were linked to buying Grealish, I was hearing rumors that Grealish will play in midfield as a number 8. Now he's playing left wing, and when you look at his stats, so he still has the goals to back up why he's having a good season. But in my opinion, I think he's been just as poor as Paul Pogba's been. I think they've both been poor this season, but because they've got stats, because they've got Pogba's got a lot of assists and Grealish has quite a few goals. Those stats will back up someone saying they've been really good this season, even though I will disagree. I've seen their performances; they haven't been up to scratch.
Yeah.
But with Grealish, it'll take him time. Look, I don't know, because he's still 25, 26, because he's still young,
26,
relatively.
26,
yeah, he's not. He hasn't hit his prime. Give it another year or two, bedded into that system, and you'll start to see why he just works within that Pep system. But again, if Pep leaves at the end of the season or the end of next season, then the new manager comes in. Does he want a player like Grealish? So I don't know. It depends on what the project is, Pep.
Anyway, we've got another caller coming in.
Yo,
TJ, what are you telling me?
this club is killing me, man. I can't take it no more, man.
Oh, no.
Club's been killing me, bro.
What club?
Mentally, I can't take it, bro. Get this Norwegian food out of this club, bro. It's just enough, isn't it?
I think he's talking about Leicester, isn't he?
Yeah.
And you know the surprising thing is I wasn't even surprised that we was gonna get beat, because I knew it. I said it from the beginning. Liverpool are far more superior than us. They got a better manager. They got a better system. We haven't got that. It's just levels. They're competing for a title. We're just competing for top 4, a top 4 team at best. It's levels, and we got smoked, man.
Bro, we talked about Man United. We've rinsed that topic, man. We've rinsed that topic.
Man.
Quickly, we're talking. We're on to City right now. I want to have your quick thoughts on Man City this season. Quick general thoughts. Then,
okay.
Look, general thoughts, bro.
For me, like I said, a lot of people sleep on Man City, bro. They got techie ballers, man. Like, even without striker, I still feel like they can retain the title again, because they've got Grealish, who a lot of people saying that was a waste of money. He's scoring goals. He's still playing well. Mahrez that can cut inside and chop. They've got Phil Foden, who's got the ability to dribble past 2-3 players. I feel like that team is good enough, bro. They're gonna go on an amazing run, 25-game unbeaten run, something like that. Because that's what you need. You need consistency, and you need to win games. And City is that team to do that. So do not sleep on Man City, bro. If there's 2 teams that I'm gonna put money on to win the league, it's Liverpool, Man City, just like it was 2-3 seasons ago. They're the 2 big dogs. And Chelsea as well. Yeah.
Anyway, people, we've been here for 1 hour 20 minutes, but just before we wrap up, we're gonna do little quick fire questions, like best signing of the season, best favorites, worst signing of the season. Just 1 minute answer. 1 minute answer. So first of all, we're gonna go with favorites. Jinky, quickly.
City for me.
Who's your favorites?
City for me. They got the know-how. Liverpool got AFCON. Chelsea, I don't think will score enough and draw too many games compared to City. So City by easily, actually. It'll be like last year.
Deji, favorites?
I think City as well. I do think Chelsea are close second. I think their lack of attacking edge sometimes is just gonna, and the fact that Tuchel's gonna struggle with all the front man, I think that's just what's gonna separate it for me. But City are just too far ahead right now.
Prime.
Win the league, Chelsea. We've got the best defense in the world. Like City and Liverpool, it's all great if you can score 3, 4, 5 a game. Both teams will also be able to concede 3, 4, 5 a game. Like, I know Liverpool won 5-0, but on a different day, realistically, the score would not have been 5. This could have been a draw. It could have been 3-3. Because once you guys went 3-0 up, United just capitulated, and they shouldn't have. They could have gone for it. There were still chances where they could have made it like 3-1 or something going into halftime, and then you never know what could happen second half. So realistic, and we've seen games like this from Liverpool. Against us, with a man down, they couldn't break us down. Brentford, stupid game 3-3. Atletico Madrid midweek, with a man down, they were still conceding stupid goals. When they face City, both teams conceding stupid goals. So I trust Chelsea's defense to be able to keep just about anyone out, and your defense will win you the title. It doesn't matter how many goals you score.
Well, currently, Chelsea can see a 3, Man City can see a 4, so it's quite tight. It's quite tight so far.
Yeah, and City have a better defense than Liverpool as well. But our defense is one of the best in the world.
Anyway, TJ, who's your favorites? Quick.
Favorite player signing?
Favorite for the league.
I'll probably echo what you three just said, bro. City, fam. Like, City have the most successful. They've got the best owners. They've got. They make the best signings, and they've got a great football directors who make good football decisions. So it has to go to City, none other.
Me personally, I think I disagree with all of you. I think it's Liverpool. I think Salah's on a mission. Liverpool, they've got their big players back. They've got Van Dijk back, bro. They're the favorites.
But Van Dijk isn't like peak Van Dijk. It's like 70%.
Bro, he's balling out. He's been balling out.
Bro, he got spun against Atletico, bro. Like, he's still showing.
No, but he's had
Antoine.
good season.
Yeah, bro, he got spun. I'm not trying to slander Van Dijk. He's amazing. He will definitely go down as the best CB. But for me, it's just, I don't know. He's not like Van Dijk at peak. I feel like just give him a bit. If he gets a bit more time, I feel like he'll go back to his peak. But
he won't. Van Dijk's average right now. He won't.
Yeah, Man City's been a better.
Yeah.
Should we go best and worst signings just off the bat again?
Yeah, best and worst signing. Jinky, who's your best and who's your worst signing?
Well, I never thought I'd be saying this at this point in the season, but you'd have to say, in terms of value for money, what they've done so far, Andros Townsend. Man's a free transfer, and he's done well. I appreciate Everton haven't been as good the last couple of games, but he has been decent. I don't think anyone's expecting it. Worst signing, again, Grealish will be up there, but I think, Jadon Sancho has to take it. He has to take it.
Mm-hmm.
He's done literally nothing. He's had a cameo against Everton, and so for 75 million, you kind of want more. I think he'll do better in January, but yeah, that's it. That's me.
Doctor.
So for best signing, I'm still going with the same team, but I think it's Demarai Gray. I don't know what happened to him when he left Leicester, but he's now become an absolutely unreal player. He's running games by himself now.
Yep.
Like, he's basically taken control. He is the main man right now, especially with Calvert-Lewin being out. And I can't wait for that connection to actually start, because that's going to be unreal. But Demarai Gray has found like a new lease. He's just found, it's like a breath of fresh air for him, and he's absolutely killing it. Worst signing for me, it's not technically a signing, but I have to mention him. Saul has been awful. If you guys think Sancho has had glimpses of something, Saul has done nothing. He's been bullied by Aston Villa.
I forgot he's even
twice.
there.
I forgot.
You forgot he's there. I don't forget because I was told years ago that this was going to be the next Iniesta. No, he's been dreadful. I think Chelsea fans are currently so excited that he's only a loan and they can ship him back off and not pay the transfer fee, because he's been awful.
That's a massive shout. Massive shout.
Prime.
May I ask, what team do you support?
United.
Okay, so you're saying Chelsea fans, but you're not part of the chat. Okay, never mind. Cool. Who's been flop signing of the season?
Okay.
Honestly, before the season started, Jadon Sancho. But again, it's based on expectation, because this guy's apparently the top creative winger in Europe. His stats match up with the likes of Messi, Ronaldo at that age and stuff like that. You know, he's going to come up and rip up the Prem. But I was saying that it's going to take him time to adapt. And United fans were telling me, "Oh, he's English. He's been here before. He grew up here. He knows the culture. He knows the Premier League." And he's struggling against everybody. There's a reason why on socials. Have you guys seen the Kensington troops meme?
Oh, nah.
That's a violation.
And you're telling me it's Saul, because 50 years ago, people compared him to Iniesta. It's not Sancho, really. It's not Sancho, really.
Bro,
Okay.
he just won a league. He just won a league.
I'm praying
And
for
he
him to
come in, he's done nothing.
Saul hasn't played football consistently in a year and a half.
Yeah, let's keep it snappy. Let's keep it snappy. Let's keep snappy.
Snappy,
Sal's a good
snappy,
debate to
snappy.
have, though. Sal is a good debate to have.
Prime, who's the best signing then?
We'll come around when we go back to it. We'll come around.
Okay. We're doing it at the same time. We're doing it at the
Yeah,
same
we're
time.
doing best and worst at the same time.
Best signing. Ooh.
It's so hard.
Has anyone made signings? Like they've been really that good? But
we've named two so far.
No. I mean, in terms of anyone's made signings that have been that good, really.
Arsenal have.
Yeah.
Townsend,
it's obviously been that depressing for transfers. Even Lukaku, like this point, is not even listed. So
someone with a shout, Danny Ings has a shout though, because he's been absolutely Danny Inzaghi, as we call him. He's absolutely unreal for Villa.
Actually, no. Do you know who I'm gonna? I've got quite a few. Romero at Spurs. I think he's a very good centre back. I think if Spurs get top four, he'll be important. You've got because at the start of the season, people were saying Southampton will get relegated, which I didn't believe at all. They're not going to be in a relegation battle because of how good Amanda Broja is. He's on loan from he's a Chelsea academy product. He's on loan there. Like, this guy's a serious striker, and he will bag them goals. You've got maybe Livramento you could put in there as well. Ramsdale, he's done okay, but like he hasn't been tested either. So it's not enough. It's not enough.
TJ, best and worst signings.
For me, the worst signing, hands down, is Ben White. This guy is just shit, bro. Like, he came here, 50 million, this and that. For me, I don't even know. People are trying to compare him to Varane, bro. This guy's worse than Kashani. He's Mustafi in disguise, bro. I'm telling you, bro. This guy is just terrible. Like, the way, if you watch that game against Crystal Palace, like defensively, this guy's suspect, bro. Like, it's just
But how do you think Gabriel played against Crystal Palace?
I thought Gabriel, he didn't play great, but I feel like Ben White played worse. Like, he was just.
They both had their ass spread against Crystal Palace, so I think that's the.
I feel like in terms of signing for like 50 million for Ben White, that's just shocking. I don't feel like he's lived up to that price tag.
Do you think he's better than Maguire?
Nah.
Come on.
As much as I don't rate Maguire, I feel like Maguire's slightly better.
Because there were Arsenal fans saying that. I'm just asking. I don't believe it. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ben White, I could see the parallels between Ben White and Maguire in terms of they may need that other defender next to him to help them. I think Gabriel's that leader in that defence. But look, at the end of the day, Arsenal going for like youth FC at this point. They're trying to get him for up and coming players. So I don't think he's done all that bad. I think there's more players who, bigger money, who've done less, who've done far less.
Havertz.
But the thing about it, like, people thought I was going to say Jadon Sancho. The reason why was because, like, before he signed, I was excited, but then again, I was like, he's playing under Oli. He's not gonna play to his best of abilities. I was like, let me just give him time. Let me see if he can adjust to the Premier League. People were like Bundesliga tax, this and that. Like I said, I'm gonna give him time. But for me, it's Ben White.
Okay, who's your best signing then?
Oh, it's tough. There's not any big teams that have made big signings, bro. Like, that have played well. The only thing I can think of is Grealish, and Grealish hasn't really. No, bro, Man United, like, there's no play from that United team that's played, that's been a great signing. No play from Arsenal. Chelsea, I can't think of any. Liverpool, I can't think of any. So for me, I feel like it goes down to City's one, maybe.
Right,
I'm trying to think.
Last quick fire ones, literally one word answers, I think, for the next one we got. What do you think? Or relegation?
For me, Brentford. There's so many. Brentford, Southampton. I'm sick and tired of seeing that team. Burnley, those are 3 teams I want to get relegated, but I hate them, bro. Especially Burnley, bro. Terrorist football, man. So those are 3 teams that I'd wish to get relegated, bro. I just I don't see them getting relegated. But I just hope they get relegated.
Next one, one word is quick fire. Bam, bam, bam. Deji.
Oh, relegation for me, it's Norwich, Burnley, and Watford. Watford are. Don't think that they can keep it up for the whole season. Yeah, those are my 3.
I think Norwich, Burnley. Oh yeah, sorry, man. Sorry.
You could go.
My 3 is my 3 is Norwich, Watford, and Arsenal.
Bait.
The agenda continues.
Yeah, agenda's got an agenda in it. I feel you.
Bait, pure bait. I don't know if I think we should end it on that note. God, with that bait, Arsenal fans be fuming. Norwich definitely, Burnley, and I'm gonna say something different. Leeds. I think that bubble's well and truly burst. I think that bubble's well and truly. And you know what? I couldn't care less.
Yes. Yes.
Bye bye to where you belong.
Yeah, but no, Bielsa not. He's the godfather of football, man. Don't call him a football.
Bro,
so
wow.
Do you think Newcastle will survive then?
Me?
Yeah. I think they will. I think they will.
Yeah, they. It depends who they hire to replace Steve Bruce, though. That's the thing. Because I'm hearing that it's going to be Lampard, and that's going to be a sticky move. So it depends who they hire to replace them. But yeah, as of right now, I'm sticking with my 3: Norwich, Watford, Arsenal.
I hear that. But anyway, man, we've been here for 1 hour and a half, man. It's been a great show. We appreciate every single one for every single person tuning in. We appreciate the callers as well. We appreciate Jinky, Doctor, Prime, TJ, and all the others that came on before. We appreciate that.
It's been fun.
The views as well. Like the video, subscribe, follow all the socials in the description as well. The Discord, join the Discord. Follow the Twitter, follow the Insta. We appreciate you. Thank you, people. Have a nice
peace.